All right, welcome to Chapter 3, Section 5, Absolute Value Inequalities. This is the last lesson for the trimester. All right, like absolute value equations, we're going to have the inequality symbol. We're still going to have two answers when we're done with this. The thing that's interesting, or I don't know, interesting is the right word is, once we get these absolute values done, we will know right away whether we have an and problem or an or problem. And that's what's going to happen today. You're going to have inequalities where they either come together or they head apart. In order to get to that point, though, we need to get, in this first example, we need to get rid of the 20 and the -6. So we want to isolate the absolute value, get it by itself, so it looks like these two up here. I will start out by subtracting 20 from both sides. When I do that, I will get a less than or equal to a -42. And I'll get a -6 absolute value of 3x plus 5. Now, the most common mistake in this problem is students that decide, hey, I'm going to distribute that -6 in. Don't do that. It's just going to make everything bigger and messier. The one thing I am going to do now is get rid of this multiplication by -6 by using the inverse operation of dividing by -6. You guys are getting pretty good at the idea of remembering if they're both negative when we divide, I have to flip this, in which case I will get a 7 here. And over here, these will cancel. Oh, I almost forgot my bar. At this point, we've got mission accomplished, absolute value separated by itself. Now, here's where we got to be careful. We're going to make two inequalities, one exactly like we see it, without the bars, so that's this one over here, is greater than or equal to 7, right? And like I told you earlier, if it's a greater than when you're done, when you get it by itself, it's going to be an or problem, okay? Now, to get the second equation, the left side looks the same. It's still 3x plus 5, but now everything else changes. So now over here, we're going to make this a less than or equal to, and we're going to go -7. Now we solve. All right, so now we will subtract 5 from both sides on this one, and we'll do the same thing over here. I will get 3x is greater than or equal to 2, and over here I will get 3x is less than or equal to -12. Now at this point, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to divide by 3. Both problems. All right, and we'll get x greater than or equal to 2/3, or x is less than or equal to -4. Now, if you look at your answer sheet, you realize they want both a graphed and our inequality notation and our interval notation. This right here is our inequality answer, okay? Now I'm going to graph next, and then we'll end with our interval notation. Now, a good thing about this problem is both numbers are pretty close to 0, so we don't have to scale it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a 0 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll start out at -4. All right. This is saying closed circle at -4. Okay. And once again, if the variable's first, we're going to go less than, which is to the left, and it kind of gives you a hint, hey, we're going left. Boom. Now this one throws some people off here. Some people are like, oh, go right 2 up 3. Well, that's not what this is. This is saying a number that's 2/3, that is somewhere between 0 and 1. All right, so here's 1, here's 0. Well, 2/3 of the way there is a little over half. So we'll draw another circle a little beyond half. And then, because it's greater than, we want the numbers greater than 2/3. Once again, they're pointing to the right, are all these numbers over here. You see why it's an or problem at this point, that my solution's either here or it's over here. A number like -6 makes this one true, and a number like 4 makes this one true. The last thing we have to do is that interval notation. All right, and what we have to do is we have to label both intervals. Remember, we always start from left to right. So the one on the left, we're going to go -infinity to -4. And because the circle's filled in, we do a bracket. I'm going to write the word or here. Oh, I did not, I should have put the bracket in here, negative 2/3, guys. My mistake. And once again, left side is negative 2/3. Parentheses going all the way to infinity. Boom. All right, we'll go through one more example and then I'm gonna show you a couple hints when things go bad.